What is up, YouTube? I'm Devon DaVinci, leader of the Renaissance crew, and you're watching DaVinci Reacts. Today, we're going to be getting into a video, another basketball-related video. Now, see, I'm a big fan of basketball. You already know this. I play a lot of basketball myself, or at least I try to when, when outside isn't closed. And by outside, I mean just like in general, not a specific place, but just outside is closed. And I don't play I don't play as much as I want to. Like, I really want to get into basketball. It's just, usually my body ain't as conditioned as it used to be. So, when you get to that point where it hurts to breathe, I kind of have to take a break. Now, if I practice more, I can probably get around that. It's just, it kind of gets discouraging because, I had dreams of getting into the NBA one day. I did. I had dreams of, making it to the NBA one day. But, for somebody that is, vertically challenged like myself, I'm only like 5'10" and a half, well, 3/4. I earned that, 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to take it. Someone who's about 5'10" and 3/4. You can imagine how tough it can be for someone such as myself to make it to that level. So, I'm not gonna say it was discrimination. I'm just saying, you try out sometimes, and it just doesn't work out. Sometimes you just gotta, accept reality and stuff like that. But it's cool, I'm about to go do a reaction to some prospects that actually achieved their dream and made it to the NBA, and were able to overcompensate for their vertically challenged selves with how high they were able to jump. Now, I could jump high. It's just that it just wasn't able to overcompensate for just how vertically challenged I actually was. So yeah, we're going to get into this and we're going to see who on this list has the highest vertical jump in the NBA. Now, I don't know if this is going to be talking about active players or if it's going to be talking about throughout history. But, for those of you that don't know, hopefully this will be something that, can interest you, because I think vertical jumps is a very interesting statistic. And I've heard rumors about who number one all time is. Now, I don't know if necessarily that's true or not. I would believe it's true because I don't see why these people would have a reason to lie. I mean, it's whatever. But let's go ahead and jump into this and see what it has to offer. And hopefully, I don't get too nostalgic for, my dreams of making it to the NBA. But let's do this.
NBA is where amazing happens, and one of the most amazing things in the NBA is to see people jump extraordinarily high and dunk, something so unattainable for 99% of the population. From Wilt, Dominique, Jordan, and Vince Carter, there have been exceptionally gifted leapers throughout NBA history, with dunks we still remember today.
Pause, timeout. Let's get this out of the way. For those of you that follow the NBA, there's always a debate on what was the greatest dunk contest of all time. A lot of people will talk about the dunk contest with Michael versus Dominique back in '88. A lot of people will talk about the Vince Carter dunk contest. Dwight Howard had some good showings. The Kobe Bryant one is actually kind of underrated. But all that aside, the number one greatest slam dunk contest of all time, I forgot the exact year, but it was the one where Zach LaVine competed against Aaron Gordon. If you want to know what the peak of human athleticism is, even if you're not a basketball fan, if you just want to watch it from a curiosity standpoint to see what the human body is capable of, watch that dunk contest. Just type in Zach LaVine versus Aaron Gordon dunk contest. If you can find the full video, be sure to watch it. But that, to me, was the greatest slam dunk contest of all time. And I know the last one that we just recently had is considered kind of good because of how far into overtime it went. Now, personally, I believe that there was a couple of dunks that got too high of a score, and that's what prolonged the contest. But that contest with Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine was, bar none, greatest dunk contest all time, in my opinion. And I'm a big fan of Michael Jordan. I got to give it to Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon. That contest was just nuts.
Here is the list of the top 10 current NBA players with the highest measured vertical leaps.
Current NBA players. I wonder if they have a video with all time.
IMAN Shumpert, 42.
I'm going to go back a little bit because real quick, I want to give a shout out to the people that made this video. I didn't do it early on, so I want to do it now. So this video was uploaded by Nonstop Sports. I will have a link for Nonstop Sports channel at the end of this video. The last 30 seconds, click on it, it'll take you to it. Also, now's your chance to watch the original video if you haven't already seen it. I would highly recommend, to show both of us support, you go down to my description box, look for the original link, right click it, open it in a new tab or a new window or something like that. Put the video on mute, let it play in the background while you're watching my video. By the time my video is over, their video will be done and you'll give both of us a view. So you'll be showing support for both of our channels. But just want to go ahead and let you guys know that I don't think that the original content creators get enough support sometimes, and I highly encourage you guys to go and watch the video on your own time to give them support as well. Now, with that being said, let's get back into it.
IMAN Shumpert, 42 inches. If you never heard of IMAN Shumpert before,
didn't know he had a 42-inch jump.
Tiana Taylor at the end of Kanye's Fade video. He's also a 2016 champion with the Cavs and the owner of some of the best NBA hairstyles. Drafted in 2011 by the New York Knicks, he immediately stood out with excellent defensive skills and athletic ability. His vertical was measured at 42 inches at the 2011 Draft Combine, the best among all rookies that year. Victor Oladipo, 42 inches. Victor Oladipo was the second pick in the 2013 NBA draft, and he got picked that high because of his supreme athleticism and defensive tenacity. His 42-inch vertical allows him to play way above the rim and throw down in-game 360 dunks with ease. Depot put his name in the hat for the 2015 Slam Dunk Contest and finished second behind Zach LaVine, now a two-time All-Star.
What year was it?
Contest and finished second behind Zach LaVine, now a hat for the throw down in-game 360 dunks with ease. Depot put his name in the hat for the 2015 Slam Dunk Contest and finished second behind Zach LaVine. 2015. Now a two-time All-Star, Oladipo has returned this season from a severe quad injury, and his athleticism hasn't fully come back yet. If it does, Indiana's star should still be one of the most athletic players in the NBA.
Victor Oladipo, when he first came into the league, now obviously nobody is on par with Michael Jordan. Nobody. But as far as play style, the way that he played, this dude was giving me the most Michael Jordan vibes of anybody that came out recently. Since Kobe. He gave me the most Jordan-esque vibes. Now, I don't know. I knew he was eventually going to turn into a all-star because of the fact, just how serious he was at being a two-way threat, being a slashing offensive player and a serious defensive player. I already knew he was going to be an all-star, but I'm glad that he was able to see some of his potential. I still don't think he's reached it yet, but nowadays you never. I don't know. The new age of the NBA is kind of I can't explain it. It's different. The game has changed since I've, tried to audition for those teams. Let's get back into it.
Ja Morant, 44 inches. Ja Morant burst on the national scene in 2019 after a few electrifying dunks in his second year at Murray State. Every time your athleticism is compared to Russell Westbrook's, you know you got hops.
That's a good comparison.
Morant's vertical stands at 44 inches, and he showed the full extent of it in his rookie NBA season, almost killing Kevin Love in the process.
Ooh.
He'll likely win Rookie of the Year award and is definitely going to be a huge star in the league, and we can safely say that Aaron Baines will not be the last guy he put on a poster.
Now, when you're paying attention to athletic NBA players, a lot of people will take their ability to jump and use that to determine their full potential in the NBA and think that they're going to be great because they can jump from the free throw line or whatever else. And usually, based on what I've noticed, it works the opposite. Somebody that depends too much on their ability to jump or too much on their ability to outrun or outspeed the opponent or whatever else tend to be the ones that will start off good when they first come into the league, but then will quickly fizzle out and you just lose track of who they are. And they end up playing like overseas or something like that. And that comes down to depending too much on your athleticism. If you're somebody that's really fast, really can jump really high, things like that, don't rest on your laurels. And right now I'm talking to anybody that's watching this that plays basketball and you know you have athletic ability. If you know you can jump, you know you're faster than everybody else. Do not rest on just that fact. I'm telling you, it will backfire because athleticism goes away. Or, for me, athleticism loses to proper fundamentals every single time. Like if you have a player that has amazing athleticism but crappy fundamentals compared to someone that has amazing fundamentals but crappy athleticism, the fundamental person is going to win. I would say 9 times out of 10 they're going to win. So just take the athleticism as icing on the cake. Think of it as an advantage that you have. But with that being said, continue to work on your craft and try to become as great on the fundamental side as you can. And then you will see yourself in talks as one of the greats, like one of the best players ever, because that's usually what it takes. You have to be sound in your fundamental approach to the game, and you have to, at the same time, be blessed with, natural gifts.
Pat Connaughton, 44 inches. Wesley Snipes will tell you that white men can't jump.
And he's
right.
Wrong.
Because they have more fast-twitch muscle fibers, black athletes are, in most cases, superior leapers. However, there are few exceptions to the rule, and Pat Connaughton is one of them, with a 44-inch vertical measured at the 2015 Combine. A fifth-year player out of Notre Dame is a solid contributor for the Bucks, where he developed great chemistry with Giannis because both of them are gym rats. Pat became more popular with the casual fans after he appeared in the 2020 Slam Dunk Contest, where he had some impressive slams, even though he didn't proceed to the final round.
All right. So now I'm going to talk about race. I know some people are like, oh, God, here we go. It always amazes me when people say stuff like they don't see race, or race is just something that was created and it doesn't really mean anything. That's wrong. Now, don't get me wrong. You don't take race and use it to determine a person's value. But races do have different qualities. And it doesn't have it's not anything as far as like intelligence or something. That's not, because every single person can learn just as much as anybody else. The only thing that separates is the quality of education. There are black people that are just as smart as the smartest white people that have existed throughout history. There are white people that are just as smart as the smartest black person, and vice versa. There are white people that are just as dumb as the dumbest black person, and black people that are just as dumb as the dumbest white person. It exists on all fronts. But there are certain qualities that each race has that is an advantage over others. Like with black people, I always think of race as like, when you play certain RPG video games and you like pick a race and each one has like certain things they're better at than others. That's kind of how life is. Black people, we tend to have an advantage as far as athletics. Like when it comes to running, jumping, things like that, we tend to have an advantage. White people, I feel, have an advantage when it comes to strength-based stuff. So lifting things, sometimes in regards to muscle stamina, they tend to be better. Things like that. Now, again, each race is different in certain aspects. They're good at certain things, and I wouldn't even say bad at other stuff. It's just that other races are better than when certain. Is that technically the definition of racist? It depends. Maybe I just said something that is technically the very definition of racism. Now, that's just how I feel. If you want to prove me wrong, convince me. Convince me that I'm wrong. And I'm not using that as a challenge or anything, but literally convince me. I am 100% to open dialogues and things like that. Just don't come into my damn channel trying to preach some type of pseudoscience bullshit. That's all I say. But, you know, let's jump back into it, and hopefully that wasn't too political for you guys that tried to click off my damn video because you heard the word race.
Andrew Wiggins, 44 inches. Andrew Wiggins was drafted #1 in the 2015 NBA draft, mainly because of his insane athleticism and leaping ability. He didn't come to the combine, but P3 Sports Science reported that his vertical jump was 44 inches from the time he worked out there before the draft. They also posted this photo, which went viral, and it gave the measurement all the credibility in the world. HAMIDOU Diallo, 44.5 inches.
I've never heard of him.
HAMIDOU Diallo is one of the lesser-known players on the list, mainly because he's a second year playing with limited playing time in OKC. He has a 44.5-inch vertical, which was the second highest vertical in the history of the NBA Draft Combine. He displayed his abnormal leaping ability at the 2019 Slam Dunk Contest, which he won after impressive dunks over Quavo and Shaquille O'Neal. When someone can jump over Shaq, we'd say he deserves to be a slam dunk champion. Zion Williamson, 45 inches. It shouldn't be fair to weigh 285 pounds and then have one of the highest verticals in NBA history. However, that's precise.
Go back.
And
I want
then
to see
have
how
one
high
of the highest verticals in NBA history.
Look at that. Based on the angle and things like that, I would say his hand is right between the top of the square on the backboard and the top of the backboard. So right between those two areas is where his hand is at. Now, could he jump? Now, could his hand get higher? Possibly. Because, like, with me, for example, I noticed that I jump higher if the goal that I have to reach, like the visual goal that I have to reach, is higher. Like, I would have a tougher time jumping for the rim if I'm just jumping straight for the rim. But if you put a mark above the rim, my hand gets higher than what it normally would have been able to get. It's like when you have a visual goal, it's easier to reach it. But Zion Williamson, yeah, dude was, like he said, 285 pounds with a 45-inch vertical. That is lethal levels of explosiveness. And by lethal, I mean his knees. Dude, like, knock on wood, I hope, I'm not really suspicious. I'm only knocking on wood for those of you out there that are suspicious and want to blame, oh, you put bad luck on him. I'll knock on wood. The dude, I feel like he does need to lose some weight. Because, and don't get me wrong, that doesn't necessarily mean like he's fat or anything like that. It's just, with that much size and you jumping that explosively, that's a lot of pressure you're putting on your knees. And even if he doesn't have like an injury or something, it's still a lot of wear and tear, to the point where towards the end of your career, you're going to be dealing with a lot of knee tendonitis and things like that. And that's the last thing you want to be dealing with as a player or as a person, because after your playing career is over, you still have to go on after that. You don't want to be living the rest of your life with some type of pains. So I hope that whatever trainer he's with is, you know, trying to help him as far as his longevity as much as possible, help him manage his weight, and, you know, make sure he's doing all the proper procedures to heal himself and to get rid of the weariness on his knees after every game and things like that. I mean, obviously the weariness on his knees right now is pretty well because the NBA is not playing, but you know what I mean.
History. However, that's precisely the case with Zion Williamson, and it's what makes him unique as a player.
He's a very exciting
person to watch. Due to similar builds,
Zion
was often dubbed the more athletic Charles Barkley, and one could make the case that he's 6'6" Shaq due to the great agility in such a large frame.
Yeah, he's a lot like a Larry Johnson. I compared him to Larry Johnson when I first saw him. He's like Larry Johnson and Charles Barkley. That's a good comparison.
Zion didn't participate at the Combine like many projected #1 picks don't these days, but the good people at Duke University provided the information about his vertical for the general public. Zion jumped so high that he had cleared all the bars from the vertical machine, and they had to put in some weight plates beneath it to measure his jump properly. The final result was 45 inches, which sounds about right for the man who can dunk from the free throw line. Derrick Jones Jr., 46 inches. Derrick Jones Jr. vertical is an astounding 46 inches, and if you watched him play in Miami, you know that it's not a made-up number. This man can straight up fly through the... You know that it's not a made-up number. This man can straight...
That's very similar to that Dwight Howard dunk at the dunk contest where he just jumped above the rim and just threw it into the rim. Oh, man.
Watched him play in Miami, you know that it's not a made-up number. This man can straight up fly through the air, and his dunks are a must-see TV. Woo. Jones Jr. won the 2020 Slam Dunk Contest after a controversial final dunk from his fellow high flyer Aaron Gordon, which Jones' former teammate Dwayne Wade deemed unworthy of a 10. Still, Jones was great, and nobody can be mad at him for winning because he really put his 46-inch vertical to work and made some spectacular dunks.
Yeah, 46 inches is a crazy vertical leap, but I will say Aaron Gordon was robbed in that dunk contest. Well, technically, because Aaron Gordon had a dunk earlier in the contest that I didn't think was worthy of a 50, but it got a 50. I forgot exactly what it was. He was jumping over something, which doesn't narrow it down too much because they were jumping over a lot of stuff that competition. But he did like the same dunk twice, except in one case he was like, well, he did the same dunk as somebody else, except they went about it different. I think one person was going off the bounce and he was like going over somebody or something, but it was like the exact same dunk, and I didn't think it was worthy of a 50. But with that being said, since they gave him the 50, he should have won with the dunk that he didn't get a 50 on.
Zach LaVine, 46 inches. When we are talking about someone closely beating Aaron Gordon in the slam dunk competition, the first association is still Zach LaVine and their epic showdown in the 2016 contest, which was one of the best in NBA history.
You see how effortless he did that between the legs just now? Now just know, that was from the free throw line. Like, you remember seeing Jordan go from the free throw line and, you know, all the theatrics he did with that dunk? He went from the free throw line with a between the legs dunk. I've only ever seen one other player do that, and that was James White back when he played for Cincinnati.
And their epic showdown in the 2016 contest, which was one of the best in NBA history. LaVine's vertical was measured at 46 inches, and it won him the dunk contest in 2015. LaVine then repeated as champion in 2016 with some truly spectacular dunks, especially when he went between the legs dunking from the free throw line. He and Gordon really gave Jordan and Nick a run for their money, and according to some people, even surpassed their legendary dunk duel from 1988.
Yeah.
Dennis Smith Jr., 48 inches. Dennis Smith Jr. is the highest leaper in NBA history if his 48-inch vertical was measured correctly at his pre-draft workout with the Los Angeles Lakers.
That is actually wrong. I know that Michael Jordan had a 48-inch vertical. Like, I'm pretty positive of that. And based on what rumors I've heard, well, I'll
we have no reason to believe anything different because Smith Jr. looks like he has springs installed at his feet. As a rookie, he participated in the slam dunk contest but somehow managed to lose in the first round, mostly because he didn't make all his dunks from the first try. However, he got a 50 for this beauty, doing a reverse 360 through the legs, which was probably a dunk of the night.
Oh, it's kind of ended on me. Okay, so top 10 highest vertical jumps in NBA history. Now that's the video I'm going to react to next time. But yeah, that's what I was talking about. Michael Jordan had a 48-inch vertical also. So Dennis Johnson couldn't have the highest in NBA history because he obviously at least matches Michael Jordan. Now, I think Dennis Smith Jr. is also a lot smaller than Michael Jordan, so Michael could still technically get higher than him, but that's only because of the height difference. Now, there is rumors that Wilt Chamberlain has the highest vertical in NBA history. And if that is true, that would make Wilt Chamberlain the greatest athlete in NBA history. Or not NBA history, in sports history, period. I put him up there with Bo Jackson, LeBron James, Lawrence Taylor. Like, there's a lot. Lawrence Taylor. There's a lot of athletes out there that are just freaks. I'm not talking about their skill in their sports or anything like that. And these players do have skills, but I'm talking about just if you took all their ability to play a sport away and just gave them their athletic abilities, their ability to run, jump, and how strong they were, Wilt Chamberlain would be the greatest of all time. The dude supposedly had a 49-inch vertical, and from what I've been told, he still holds the records for sporting events that he competed in when he was with the University of Kansas. High jump, triple jump, things like that. Now, I'd have to look into it to make sure that all that's verified. I'm just going off of what I've heard. I haven't looked into it myself, so take with that with a grain of salt. Go look it up for yourself if you want to, find out the truth. But the fact that he was a potential Olympic quality athlete in the high jump lets me know that he does have an extremely high vertical. So I'm not against the idea that he had a 49-inch vertical. And then you take into consideration that he ran a 40-yard dash in 4.6 seconds. Normally you just say a 40 in 4.6, which is on par with LeBron James. Like, LeBron runs a 4.6. And then you throw on top of that Arnold Schwarzenegger saying that he was in his prime lifting, or not necessarily in his prime. This was a little bit after he retired. He was bench pressing 500 pounds. So a player that's able to bench press 500 pounds, jump 49 inches in the air off a vertical, and being able to run a 4.6. That is a player that can run as fast as LeBron James, is as tall and strong as Shaq, a little bit stronger than Shaq actually, but I'll just say to round it up or to round it off, as strong as Shaq, and can jump like Michael Jordan. So Michael Jordan's jumping ability, LeBron James' speed, and and Shaq's power and height. That sounds like the ultimate NBA player. That sounds like a player you would create in NBA 2K. So, these guys are some of the greatest athletes ever. As a matter of fact, there's only one athlete I can think of, but that athlete didn't get picked to compete in the NBA. So, it's cool. Sometimes some of the greatest players of all time, they don't really get their opportunities, and they end up going to other avenues like YouTube or other stuff. But it happens. That's life sometimes. And all I'm saying is I know there was a player by the name of the Renaissance Man back in the day. He was a beast. He had all the tricks of the trade, and he just wasn't able to make it. But it is whatever. Let's wrap this up. I'll go ahead and finish this video off. I'm Devon DaVinci. Hopefully you've been a little more enlightened, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. So I'm gonna give the deuces, and I'm signing out. Peace.